right? And which takes, and I think it's a wonderful thing. And there's all sort of like that, the power of Skating the Whales, like it occurred to me, it's very much in the chord progression, as it is with all great pieces, great compositions, where there's a level of rhythm, melody, and harmony, and you can just take the harmony, say you can improvise over those changes, right, and you can still hear the song somehow. Yeah. So there's an identity to those changes, and and so let me just talk to Ben maybe for a moment. So Ben, when you started playing to the track, did you know what you were playing to, or did you just how did you approach that?
That I was thinking about it. Actually, I was talking with Gretchen about this. I don't even remember exactly how I got looped in by Steve into this, but I did. And I'm trying to remember as we're talking, because I've watched so many different versions of this in so many videos, I don't even remember what I recorded to. So I know that I had a click. I know that what I had, the overall thing, and it was the piece really was talking about how I grew up in high school, like learning Bill Bruford parts and playing them very, very badly as a young drummer and transcribing a bunch of Tony Levin. So it was all music that like really kind of spoke to me. And the fun thing is playing vibes for this one, I was able to do I was able to play just straight chords and be big footballs. I played a guitar-like constant moto perpetual thing, and then I did the jazzy jazz on a solo. So it was like I was able to do 3 completely different things with the idea that I thought that he would never take all 3 of them and put them into one version because it was just too much, but any one take. And then Steve just, like in all his garbage versions, threw everybody into everything. So there's sometimes when I was listening to vibes chords and like a guitar line on the vibes and a solo, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing, but somehow it all worked together. So, and I don't even remember what it was played on other than I took the chords, I wrote them out, I put them there, figured out that, but I don't even remember the original music because it all got changed up so much over time.
Well, I'm so curious to hear from Gretchen. What did you receive when you got it? And what was your approach?
I feel like I had that maybe quartet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and then I think I did the same, like, write out sort of the chords, and I feel like I just kept listening over and over and over because that's the way I do something, just like tortoise style. And then maybe did you, because Steve knew I was recording it at your house, is that how we made the...
Yeah. I think what happened, Gretchen, well, first of all, everyone who touched this just did an amazing job. And, there's this idea of, hey, let's just try this. And then I received back these tracks that were all just incredible. Improvised or not, they were worked together in a kind of an odd 5 people having a conversation at the same time kind of way. But then, Gretchen, I think what happened is you did something that happens to me all the time. You said something like, or I might have said, Gretchen, do you know anyone else who might be an interesting complement to what's going on? And I think you said something a little tentative like, well, I know this person, Ben. And I immediately said, yes, without having much context and not knowing the rich tango connection and the, Ben, you have such an articulate mastery of the languages you speak, musical languages you speak, that it seemed like not just an amazing compliment for the timbres, but even just the spicy vibe, complementary, both rhythm and melodic aspects of what Ben did. Gretchen, that was such an amazing instinct to say, yeah, you should talk to Ben.
And Gretchen, where are you based now?
I'm in Seattle.
Uh-huh. And Dolette, are you in Seattle as well?
I am in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said you were in Georgia, of course. So yeah. I'm just curious, what was your experience when you first heard the piece? Because Were you, I was just sort of familiar with this, but not, I've never played it before, figured it out. Were you at all familiar with the piece before? No.
Not at all. My first reaction was to sabotage myself and say, I can't do this. It scared me because I didn't feel that I could contribute anything. It was so beautiful. It was so amazing. And I'm like, why would he want me? And then I said, well, there's a reason he wants me. He feels I can contribute something. So we talked, I said, well, you have to send me a reference track just so I'll know what it is you want. Because I had no idea. And my first reaction was fear, but that's usually, it's getting better. But that's usually my first reaction. It's like,
I often have that reaction as well when Steve asks me to do anything. So that's perfectly normal. Yes.
Yeah. But I am to be able to contribute with world-class musicians like this was such an honor for me. I was so grateful for it. It was a gift. It really was a gift because after I did this, I started putting myself out of my comfort zone more and more and more and doing other things that made me uncomfortable, but yet I learned something from it.